Guys, this is a story and a half. I can't wait to share this one with you. Before I do, though, I apologize for being away over the weekend. I have been so flat out. I drove for 10 hours yesterday. I got sunburnt. I got a nail in my tire on my car. All sorts of shit happened. But you know what? I'm safe and I'm happy at the end of the weekend, so it's all good. But yeah, that's just why I've been a little bit quiet. Englishmen refuse sperm to UK's FEMCELS. Now, guys, I know you're going to want to share this video with all of the feminists who think that they can just freeze their fucking eggs and then rock up to the sperm bank and be like, oh yeah, oh he's cute, yeah, I want babies to him. I'll have some of his sperm, thanks, and then I'll just have a baby with him, and then when I feel like it, I'll go to the sperm bank and I'll ask who he is, and then I'll try and get child support. Right, so check this out. As a young man, this is actually a guy writing this story, and this guy is incredibly intelligent, very well articulated. He's articulated this article very, very well. He's a retired public official and international lawyer and writes on current gender issues, and it sounds like he's a real centrist and very logical. He's born in 1953, so that would make him about 47, 57, about 65, roughly. Here we go. As a young man, I remember the first time I went to England. As the plane descended through the clouds over the English countryside, I remember thinking to myself that this was not just any country. This was England. This was the country that spawned the epic heroes who defined masculinity in human consciousness that guided the world for centuries. Proud England is now in danger of extinction, like every other feminist country. His words, not mine. He's calling it, right? I agree with him. Like every other feminist country, its birth rate is falling at a precipitous rate. Most of the births are from immigrant populations. These immigrant populations are overloading the British Marxist medical system and its welfare system. Yet Britain's feminist leaders, such as Theresa May, insist that immigration from North Africa and the North African men who are willing to have sex with England's feminists are the only salvation for England's feminist state. How did this happen? That's a great question. Thank you for asking, John. I appreciate it. This is a great question. It is very simple, but governments are willfully blind to the realities of reproduction that even prehistoric men understood. And here it is, right? This is the crux of the issue. If you deny men their reproductive birthrights, men will simply, and I quote, go their own way. Is there anything more to say? Yes, there is. But, like he's nailed it with that point. That's exactly what's going on. The feminist state has taken away our right to be fathers, taken away our right to fucking human decency. Right? So the moment a chick is pregnant with our sperm, it's game over for us. It's game over. This happened because feminism in England has become a fascist program of the state. Its sole objective is to exploit men under every possible pretense. Most, thankfully not all, of women in England are incels, or, as we discussed in my previous video, FEMCELS, and I have put a link to my previous video in the description below, so check that out if you didn't see my video on female incels. Women in England, through a system of indoctrination from the feminist state. Oh, here we go. So, most thankfully, not all of women in England are incels. Incel means they are involuntarily celibate. They have no meaningful interpersonal relationships with men because literally they are incapable of having mature relationships with men. They sure are incapable of having a relationship that is mature. Women in England. through a system of indoctrination from the feminist state, leave schools, even once great schools such as Oxford and Cambridge, with nothing but an endless repertoire of narratives for finding pretenses to hate and exploit men. Misogyny, patriarchy, white privilege, cis male privilege, all that shit, you know, the standard. These incel feminists are capable of a relationship with men only if it involves heavy drinking or drugs, gratuitous sex, and violence from the state to enforce its draconian feminist regime on men. Under the feminist state in England, men have virtually no reproductive rights. The feminist state in England imposes every possible responsibility on men for any sexual conduct, real or imagined. By the way, guys, I'm going to be doing a review very shortly. I actually went and bought the book, right? Even though I got sent an ebook of it, I wanted to support him. There's a book out there called Women Have Rights, Men Have Responsibilities. So hang tight for that review, because I'm going to do it soon. But let me get back to the article. Yet still are subject to arrest if a woman simply wants a man arrested for a sex crime that never occurred. If you think that the previous paragraph is in any way exaggerated, we invite you to watch the following news segment regarding Mr. Mark Pearson. A famous actress accused him of slipping his fingers in her vagina while he was walking through a train station. CCTV footage showed both his hands were occupied with his luggage, and he never touched the woman. She remains anonymous. He was put through a trial in which the jury exonerated within 90 minutes by a jury. His life remains ruined. Yet, under Britain's medieval rape statutes, men have no protection from women who rape them, or falsely accused men. Under English law, only men can be charged with rape, notwithstanding that women rape men and boys in England in higher numbers than the other way around. Instead of recognizing that the new feminist empire is a fascist structure to violate the human rights of men, aka the male gender, you know, the one of the two genders, the fascist/feminist leaders in England are trying to find a way around granting men any reproductive rights. England's feminist state has put out the patriotic call for sperm. Check this ad out. See if I can put it in a landscape so you guys can see it more easily. There we go. So apparently the the British National Sperm Bank in Birmingham has just... Guys, I want you to drop a number in the comments to tell me how many donors you think that the British National Sperm Bank has as registered donors. I want to see how many you guys... How many registered donors do you think there are while I'm getting this ad up? See, here we go. Check this out. See, lend a hand, London Sperm Bank. What does it say? Demand for donor sperm in the UK is greater than supply. Now I got a couple of numbers here, right? I've got 2. I've got 500. I've got 666, 20, 10, 700. So there's a few different guesses. I'll tell you how many donors there are in the UK for the British. This is for the whole entire country's sperm supply for women who want to go sperm shopping to be a single mum. There are 9. No, 17. I apologize. Here we go. Englishmen are not responding to this campaign to circumvent granting men's rights in order to raise the birth rate. Englishmen are bravely refusing to be cuckolds by way of pullet sperm in a state scheme to impose feminism in place of human rights. The demand for sperm has failed miserably, and now the country of England is being artificially inseminated from the sperm of only about 17 men for the entire country, and they'll die off soon. No one has calculated the dangers of inbreeding and genetic regression in England from a non-diverse breeding program for the feminist state. Because, of course, if you got all these feminists having kids to the same 17 dudes, right, and you got girls and guys being born from that program, there's a very high chance if any of the people that are basically, you know, birthed to a single mother from the sperm bank, imagine 2 kids from that were birthed as a result of the sperm bank donation, they've got more than a 5% chance of being siblings. All right? Have fun with those birth defects. In the mind of the feminist state, it is much more sensible to continue imposing draconian laws on men and depriving them of their rights than it is to encourage women to adopt some responsibilities and granting men some dignity and human fucking rights. Oh wonder, how many goodly creatures are out there. How beauteous mankind is. Oh brave new world that has such people in it. The Tempest, Miranda. So I don't know exactly where that's from. It's just a quote that he provided at the end. Here we go. Man, I actually like this John guy. He's on the money. It says, see the photo of this little thought sitting there pissing on the pavement? Let me read you the caption. An English college student sits to relieve herself on the cobblestones with her man standing by to impress on him that under English feminism, he must learn to respect women. Oh dear. So let's see. Over the next couple of years, I predict that number is going to drop a lot. We are going to get to the point where you might have 1, max 2 guys donating the entire nation's sperm supply for all these femtard single mother wannabes. So not only are you relying on only 1 or 2 people, but you're also breeding that DNA with feminists. That's a recipe for disaster. I'm just saying. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. I still have a Kate Mulvey video to do for my Patreon and Subscribestar, which is patreon.com/subscribestar and sydneymigtow.com/subscribestar. If you do want to donate as a once-off, paypal.me/sydneymigtow. I've had a number of you email me with a link from Jessica Valenti saying, what was it exactly again? It was something along the lines of, she was pretty much telling men to man up, which is basically textbook shaming language. Anyway, that's on my Patreon and my Subscribestar also. So if you want to check that out, please feel free to do so. Anyway, guys, look, I'm gonna honestly, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna sleep, and hopefully, I'll actually feel like I have some energy tomorrow. So I'm gonna leave it here, guys. I appreciate you all tuning in, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Appreciate you all. Peace.